a lot of people's insecurity, okay, let's just be real. A lot of people's insecurity is coming from social media right now, because there are people that are painting themselves in such a great light. We got all the right angles. We got all the right lighting. We have the makeup with that winged eyeliner that is looking fantastic. We have the whole outfit with the whole drip. Like, everything is perfect, right? And so you're looking at yourself and you're like, okay, how can I start mimicking this? And you start taking off for women. It might be starting the makeup. It might be light. And then we start going really into it, because when you start wearing things like this, people compliment you. And then for the men even, it's like there's a way where you just dress nice, and you dress nice, and then there's a way that you dress because it garners attention, because people can see you on the street and be like, oh, I want to be like that person who's walking down. And I think sometimes we have to be even willing to just say, you know what? I may not be the person that people like. When I walk down the street, people are looking at me and like, oh, she's gorgeous. That is exactly what I want to be like. I want to dress like that. Or they use like, oh, that's a baddie. I just want whatever. Okay. It doesn't even matter. You don't want to be like that because you're a child of God.
That's right.
And so being even willing to break the norm, because it's all normalized right now. And that's the issue with social media. When you were even talking about not even being able to go on Instagram for a second, because that's all you're going to see. We can talk about even what it means as a Christian posting, because it's normalized to post like everyone else in the world. But I remember talking with another Christian brother, and he was going through his friends. These are Christian friends, right? He was going through his friends' posts and like had to swipe away when he came across something, because all he saw was this girl in a bikini at the beach. And these are our Christian friends. And he had to I don't even remember what he said, but whether it was like block her or even hide the post, whatever it was. But that should not even be a thing you have to think about as a Christian who is chasing purity among your family, your so-called family, right? People who are supposed to be helping encourage you in this. But to her, I know her mindset was like, well, there were no other guys on this trip, but you just posted it for everyone to see. So now it's not only you and your girls. Now it's you and the world and every other guy you know. So this is the thing that we have to combat. It's that the idea of social media and technology is that, this was done in the confines of my home. Like I should be able to wear whatever I want at home. Absolutely, you should be able to wear whatever you want. But you shouldn't be able to wear whatever you want online for everyone to see. And so that's where we have to find this boundary of, we're not saying you can't wear what you want, but know when you can. And if you decide to wear something, that means you can't post it.
That's right.
That means you have to change. And so just these kind of conversations should not be a thing we have to talk about, but we do, because it's so normalized. Yeah. It's so normalized.
That's right. As soon as you have a public post, then whatever you're doing in your home is now public.
Yeah.
And so the Bible applies to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with what you guys are saying. There's a lot of fear of being rejected. And so people will do things to get attention. People don't think they can be popular or even get followed unless they have a particular look.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, we have to ask ourselves, okay, is it God who's going to exalt us? We just read, we're going to repeat it yet one more time, that if we humble ourselves, He's the one who's going to lift us up. And so we have to get back and get free, because really we're in bondage otherwise. Everything, I have to admit, today, getting ready, I was trying to get my hair right. It wasn't looking right.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy. It's like, who cares?
Right.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But because we're going to do this podcast. And why do we even bother? And if we do that, we are in bondage, right? We're in bondage to what other people think. People are, the more they get famous, what you recognize, they start putting more makeup on. I call it war paint, right? The more they get popular, the more they get popular on social the more they get popular on social media, you see more and more aesthetics, things changing upon them. And that's men and women.
Plastic surgery,
surgery, yeah.
So much Botox.
And
think about that.
Foundation on top of foundation, and, get rid of all the blemish. I always say, even, look, to the women out there, I don't know. If I'm going to marry somebody, I want to know what they look like without makeup. Because you don't want to find out after your wedding day that the person you're marrying is not the the person you married. But less is more. That's always my encouragement to the women.
Yeah.
Less is more. Less makeup is always more. It's always better. But going back to
Well, actually, before you continue that, and people always like to say that men always say that, but that's not true because nobody likes me anymore. I don't get attention anymore if I don't wear this. Well, you're probably not supposed to be getting that attention at all anyways, because you're feeding into, so then you're gonna put on the makeup and the clothing to get that attention. So you're feeding really into whatever you're trying to go against in all of this. And so, like, if we're really looking for people as Christians, like, the world might have a different story, but as Christians, if you're really looking for a spouse, a lot of people are, then you shouldn't have to have this combating, oh, well, if I don't wear this, then they won't notice me. Like, the right person should notice you because that will be, God is going to make that happen. That's the same question of in social media pages. If you're trying to become someone who maybe has a following so that you can influence people in the right direction, are you trying to trust on your own strength, on your own looks, on your own appearances, or are you going to depend on God to provide that way for you?
Right. That's right.
What audience are you really looking for?
And on that note, one more thing on that. You can have somebody who's very beautiful, an attractive woman, but depending on what starts coming out of her mouth and what she starts to say, suddenly she becomes unattractive. And it works both ways.
Yeah.
So, but now you find somebody who doesn't wear all that makeup, but you find that they have a great heart, they have joy about them, they have purity. They're not in bondage to what the world thinks about them. And you find a person that has freedom. And so now you can participate in that freedom by knowing this person versus knowing a person that's stuck in the bondage of I have to look a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be this particular kind of person. I mean, who do you want to marry? I mean, you want to marry somebody who's free, somebody who's not going to be moved by what culture says.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to stand on righteousness and what's good.